Well, we're here at the House of Pain, aka the Mac 5.3 Carnage lot, basically. So, unfortunately, last weekend we heard another motor in the truck. Kind of like the other one, it was a motor that was in my Camaro, so we'd already put a lot of miles on it, had already made a lot of passes with it, so we couldn't ask a lot more out of it than what it did. I mean, we made it all the way through Rocky Mountain, just murdered it the whole time. You guys know all about that. And, you know, we've gotten back, and then since Rocky Mountain, I've probably put maybe 30 or 40 passes on the thing, and it's been on rails, been going fast for the most part. And it's like, I guess it was just its day to die, and that's what it did at Mentone. What we didn't probably show from earlier in the year was when we hurt, this would have been like about 2 months ago at Salem, we hurt the OG 5.3 that was in from Horsepower Wars. Dude, that was the best SBE motor we ever had. This really sucks. That thing had a hell of a good life. But it's finally over. He can rest in pieces now. She was rolling too, it was ripping. I'm like, yeah, and then right at the stripe, brrr. So that one, I got home, pulled it out, and then put the Camaro one that was in the Camaro, the 5.3 in it. So we kind of now finally got to a point where I'm tearing them all apart because I'm trying to see what we can find out of both motors to make one good one so we can get to Roadkill Nights. And so we'll kind of go through the Carnage and what happened to them and kind of get a picture of that damage. I believe it looks like this piston, old number, what's that going to be, number 3, he bit the dust first. And typically what does happen is when you break one of them, the rod looks like the rod broke. What happened, and when that did, it took out the cylinder on the other side. When that all starts to happen, like in the vehicle, it doesn't even sound like there's a lot going on. Like you hear some things, and the kind of motor sometimes just stops. But what happens inside of this is a lot of bad stuff. Like literally, you can see in all the other, everywhere there's metal laying around. There's where it actually windowed the block. I didn't even take the windage off yet, but you can see down in there maybe there's a freaking piston pin right there. This thing is just completely, let's go treasure hunting here, completely full of shit. So let's go roll it over. Look at all these things that are down in here. There's one piece of the piston, the one that was missing. And it's just crazy like how in no amount of time, like literally it's seconds, like it broke and it's probably 10 seconds, and look at all the destruction it can do. I mean, it just takes parts and mashes them to death, pokes a hole out the side, yeah, wads up pistons into little chunks of metal, so like a scrapyard deal. Got some piston ring there, pretty awesome. Yeah, there's that pin we've been looking for. He might be reusable, a little crushed. It is just amazing. So we tore that one up. We've been watching, one thing that was good that I seen on both these motors was when I pulled the heads off, the head gaskets like looked absolutely spotless. So that's, for me, that's a good thing because we've been checking plugs. We're very aggressive with the tune-up on these motors, but we've also been trying to really watch ourselves and make sure the motor has been happy the whole time. And both motors looked very happy up until the last pass. I mean, I literally like changed plugs before each of those last passes because we turned it up just a little bit more boost. And both times it was on about 34 to 35 pounds. And, you know, it's good to see the heads aren't lifting. We aren't really having a detonation issue as much as we're just finding the limits of a stock engine that's got 100,000 plus miles, and you put 100 passes or more on them at, you know, 12 to 1400 horse. At some point they're just going to be done, and it sucks when they break, but it's good to know that they didn't break because we really had a tune-up error as much as we just flat wore their asses out. And that's just part of how this game goes. If we kept it on 20 pounds of boost or 25, these things will like live forever. But to go fast, we got to have them cranked up all the way where we don't have as much horsepower as the other guys, so we really have to get after it. And the result is sometimes you blow them up. All right, casualty number 2 in about 2 months. So we've been on quite a roll here. This is the motor that was in my Camaro. Was in there last year for most of the year, I think. Probably had 100 plus passes on, like I said. We did a head gasket swap at Mentone one time with it, pushed a little water, knocked the freeze plug out. But it kind of did a similar thing. Both cylinders, same cylinders, 3 and 5. It totally lunched, not 3 and 5, it would be 4 and 3. Totally lunched 4 and 3. Pistons are gone, little pieces of rubber, it's all in the pan. Knocked a hole in the pan. Windowed the block on this side, very similar. Oop, see it right through there, which kind of sucks because what happens in the truck, unfortunately, both times now when this has happened, we've had a small bit of fire because it ends up, you know, I had the diaper on this. I had the diaper on it this time. I didn't have it on the first time. The first time it pushed enough stuff out and oil got on the exhaust of the thing, and with the truck the exhaust runs very tight to the motor and underneath it even, and goes backward, where most turbo cars things go forward. So stuff blows up, you don't get as much oil, it doesn't hit anything hot really. So on this it does. So when it did, we had a little fire the last time. Since then I've had a diaper on this thing like religiously. That like kind of woke me up a little bit. It was very scary when the thing's burning in the ground in front of you. So the diaper comes up to like about this area, but you know, it caught everything. We had about 3 quarts of oil in the diaper when I pulled it off the other day, but it was still enough oil came up and actually sprayed the side of the truck, like the whole side of the truck. It might be hard to see, but it's completely covered in oil. Everything, you can see all of this oil soaked, and you know, now we got some cleanup to do there, and it burnt my harness a little bit. I'm gonna have to fix that up. So it's really, that's the worst part of blowing these little motors up, is like the collateral damage and picking the whole mess up and having to spend a day and a half of just cleaning it all, getting it ready to find out what you got that's good, and then hopefully you have enough good parts that you can put it back together. So I have the diaper over here still to show you how I left. It's got, there's all the little shrapnel in, I got to clean it all out, but this is basically when I pulled the diaper off. I had that rag in there to catch some stuff, but this is all the stuff that was in that thing. All this oil, literally, plus some more before I realized it was full. Bearings, all this stuff. This was all what was in there. So we haven't been, in the past, probably very good about putting diapers on, right? We've caught some grief, definitely, back in the day about it. I can tell you I'm really glad we had it on this time, because that's a lot of stuff right there to either be under the tire, all over the exhaust, or any of those kind of things that will lead to nothing but a bad day and probably a lot more damage for the truck or myself. So if you don't have one of these dudes and you're running an SBE, don't be a dumbass like we were. Just get one, put it on. They actually go on, I was shocked, they go on really very easily. It's not even like an LS one, it's just a universal one. It still goes on super simple. So use these if you're gonna run an SBE and you're gonna kick the shit out of it, because otherwise it's gonna probably cost you more money when you have to get your car off the side of the wall when it's all jacked up on there because it slid in some oil. So spend the money on that stuff for sure. Piece of the rod there. First time I've ever seen really a bolt break, probably after it got all mangled up. Alright, so the plan moving forward is basically going to be our good friend Ron at Northwest Auto Machine. We had a good rotator that's already been laying around here, and we've just been hesitant about putting it in anything. We've kind of been waiting. So we got it apart. Ron's machining a block for us right now. Like literally, we have a week till we go, till I'm going to race at Roadkill Nights along with the other guys. Ron's getting it ready. We're going to get it back this weekend, put it back together. The plan is to gather up all the good parts we got, get it in that motor, get it ready, hit Roadkill Nights and win it.
So after seeing the damage done on the passenger side the other night, we saw that this head also had a very clean intake runner, which I think means that it's getting steam clean. So we pulled this head also just to find that cylinder was also lifted and had some coolant pressure. So we got other gaskets to put on there. We're gonna put other gaskets on there, and it'd be nice to have 8 equally and efficiently firing cylinders now. So it might be a whole different car. Hopefully it's a lot faster. So what we have here is our new brake kit, thanks to our buddy Lonnie, my partner in the car. I guess he had had enough of me racing with 3 brakes, so he took it upon himself to order us a new kit. And the nice people at Aerospace were nice enough to overnight us this whole brake kit and give us a killer deal on it. So we're very thankful for that, because Roadkill, not only is it a very tight area, but it's a very short shutdown. So new brakes is going to, actually having all 4 brakes and having new brakes, rotors, pads, all that is going to make a big difference, I would think. So we're gonna slap these things together. Austin's wiring up my turn signals and stuff now, getting my horn in there. We got the radials on. We're just doing a bunch of last minute stuff to get it ready to leave tomorrow. Waiting for you to hit the starter button.
I know how to do that.
I was leaking over there somewhere.
Leaking? I mean, Nick, less than that?
Just a little bit. Just start pouring just a little. Okay. It might have I might have overfilled that, so it might have leaked out of here. Because that's the highest point, so I probably can't have it higher than this, or this rate, this cap.
We're going back to E85. E85. Radiator E85.
You gonna put your hat on before you address the public?
Me? Oh, I'm not allowed to be bald anymore on camera? I don't want to be bald on camera, but I mean, I'm not against it. Everybody knows I'm bald.
Bald and beautiful.
This right here could stop a freaking locomotive. So we got brand new caliper brackets, rotors, calipers, pads. Everything you see here is brand spanking new, both sides. So I now have 4 brakes.
Make sure the bracket's tight.
Now have 3 spares. So everything's tight. It's got Loctite on it now. It's not gonna come off. I double checked everything. We got new brakes on the front, new wheels on the front, new tires on the front, new tires on the back. Radiator, I mean, I might just haul this thing, just take off on a mini vacation in this thing once we get it done. Well, we're a full street car now. We got a radiator, we got a horn, we got headlights, taillights, turn signals, brake lights, a rear view mirror, DOT tires all the way around. I don't know what else there is to be in more street car than this. No, we don't have E85. I don't want E85. E85 is for losers. That's about it. We got everything done. Austin got everything wired up. We had a bunch of old fittings laid around, so I just patched it together. And apparently the water pump moves a lot of water because I had the thing off, and then as soon as I turned the water pump on, it geysered up. We got to bleed brakes, button up a few little things. I think we're ready to go tomorrow. Get a race car, boys. It's always a lot of fun.